Hello and welcome to 18 WJTS in.form. I'm your host, Bill Potter. Joining me in the studio is Nona Baker. She is the Associate Director of the Dubois County Community Foundation. And we're going to talk about scholarships and grants. Sometimes we talk about how you can give money to the foundation. In this show, we're going to talk about how they disperse those funds out to the public. First of all, let's talk about scholarships, Nona. And I guess one of the first things people need to be thinking about is FAFSA, which is the Financial Aid something.
Free application for federal student aid, and I'm not sure exactly what that acronym's for. That's a very important part of the scholarship process and the college application process. The FAFSA is used in a number of ways. Certainly, students will qualify for grants based on their FAFSA. Also, they will also qualify for scholarships based on their FAFSA. A lot of colleges use the information on the FAFSA to determine what an award package looks like so that they can try to recruit a student to come to their college. So that's a big important part of scholarships in general.
Now, we're talking about FAFSA now, but I remember FAFSA always being needed to be filled out in March. Can you do it? Can you do it now?
I'm not sure exactly of what the date that it opens, and that'll be something that students will want to connect with their guidance department about. There will be information coming down from the guidance departments on when the FAFSA is available to be filled out, but it's a very important thing not to overlook. Even if you're not planning on applying for loans or you don't think that you are eligible for grants, because a lot of colleges require it to award scholarships. So that's a big important part of scholarships. This is our scholarship season in the fall, which, as you mentioned, FAFSA being in the spring, scholarships traditionally are in the spring, but the Community Foundation program and the Lilly Endowment program are both in the fall.
So you're going to be announcing recipients.
We'll be announcing recipients.
I guess not soon, but
the
before the end of the year,
application is open.
really. Okay.
The applications are open through October 1st. The online process is accessed through our website. There's some resources on the website as well about scholarships in general, and of course about our process. And very easy to use application process. You can import responses from one to the other and then learn some information about what scholarships you may be eligible for.
How are scholarship recipients selected?
I'm glad that I don't have to select them. That would be the hardest thing, along with grants. We have a committee that is made up from individuals from across the county. They look at the application data that is supplied by the students, and then they recommend a recipient based on the criteria for a particular scholarship.
Now, there's a lot of scholarships, and you're talking about you need to be filling those out now. To me, I'm thinking you think about scholarships being awarded in the spring, but there are some that are out now.
Absolutely.
How should parents or students go about doing that?
Start preparing now. Start looking for opportunities. Start researching online. There are employer-based scholarships along with our 40. As part of our 40 scholarship funds at the Community Foundation, 3 employer scholarships are available from Far Best Foods, Best Chairs, and Park Bell. So a lot of employers, Jasper Engines has a scholarship program, Kimball has a scholarship program, so that's something that parents can look into. All the colleges that a student is considering, they want to look into opportunities that the college may have and pay attention to deadlines and key dates. You don't want to miss out on an opportunity because of a missed deadline.
So really, you need to be thinking about that right now.
Need to be working
Don't put
on
that
it now.
off.
Absolutely.
I mean, school just started, so but you do need to think about that.
School just started, but it's the Lilly recipient will be identified in December, and then in January we notify all the recipients of Community Foundation scholarships of their awards. So we are ahead of most programs on purpose.
Now let's move into the grants. How much have you granted so far this year?
It's been a busy year. It's been a great year. Over $1.5 million.
Wow.
That is and we've still got several months left in 2020, so we don't know exactly what that will hold, but over $1.5 million.
Now, we want people to understand that's not all COVID money. Some people say, oh yeah,
no.
there's a lot of money that was given out for COVID. Yes, there was, and thank you for that. But these are grants just to help businesses, nonprofits do what they normally do.
Yes.
A fire station needs to be purchased, fire equipment needs to be purchased,
Absolutely.
or whatever. And I want to kind of touch on, we don't do a grant cycle anymore.
Correct.
Right? And I know that you haven't done that for years, but still, there are some entities that still do that. But you don't do that anymore. Now it's when you need it, apply for it.
You can apply for it. We have an online, easy process, and we accept applications year-round. So we're kind of unique in doing that. A number of in our field have moved to that kind of process also. But really, it's designed to benefit our community because we don't know what the needs are going to be next week or next month. Having a cycle just really limits applicants to that period of time where applications would have been accepted. The committee comes from all across the county. Every area of the county, they're volunteers, and they look at applications submitted and make difficult decisions because we would love to fund everything that comes through our door, but they make those difficult decisions and award funds based on what is available from the Fund for Dubois County. In July, just last month, they granted over $35,000 to a number of different proposals from the museum for a shared heritage satellite museum exhibit program. That's really exciting, where the museum will take their exhibits out into the community. To Dubois County Shooting Sports Council, they received some funding. And then the Dubois County Community Resource Database, that's one we're really excited about.
This is good for nonprofits because sometimes they can't look a year out or 10 months out. They just kind of go, oh, we need to do this in 3 months. And they can fit right in by just going to you and asking for, not just going to you and asking for the grant. Obviously, it's got to be a need, and there has to be paperwork that needs to be filled out, but it's there to do.
Absolutely. We want to be open and available to our community to help meet the needs as they come up. None of us know what tomorrow will bring, and certainly if you were looking at, and we were chatting at this time last year, if we would have thought what 2020 would bring, none of us would have believed it. So we try to be as open and available as possible and meet needs as they come up.
What is the Dubois County Resource Database?
That's a really interesting project that came out of a mental health committee meeting of the Dubois County Health Partnership. It's a collaborative project between the Health Partnership, the Dubois County Community Foundation, and the Dubois Jasper County Contractual Public Library. What we found is that many organizations, as they were working with clients and patients in different avenues, they had a list of references, or they had a list of organizations where someone could go and request assistance, or how to receive different types of benefits, different things that they may have need for, whether it be counseling services or transportation or health care, any number of things. A lot of organizations had this list that they would hand to someone, but there was not one place where anyone could go and find what they needed. So those three partners, we've come together, and a database is being prepared with all of those resources that everybody gave out. It'll be a website called DuboisCountyResources.org, and it will be a comprehensive place where people can find what they need as far as resources in our county.
So watch for that to roll out.
Watch for that to roll out in about a month.
Now, we talk about grants. How are grants determined? How do you determine, well, we're going to have a grant that does this, or we're going to have a grant that does that? How's that determined?
Our committee reviews those opportunities that are presented by the nonprofit organizations in our county, and they really look for a lot of different things. They're looking for organizations that want to help build our community, help to make it thrive. We're looking for partnerships. So it's just a matter of an organization having a specific cause or a specific need, and that organization also having some financial commitment to what they're working on, as well as reaching out to a donor base. It takes many people to get things done. We can't do it all on their own. They can't do it all on their own. It's that partnership that's important.
If someone is interested in an organization, is looking to do a grant or to get a grant, what's the step for them? What's the next thing they need to do?
Of course, at their convenience, they can always look at our website, take a look at some of the resources that are there. There are some FAQs that will answer some of the questions that they might have immediately, but what we really want them to do is connect with the Community Foundation. Our team is prepared to speak with organizations. I work with organizations every day, answer their questions, and walk them through the process of applying for a grant. Before they submit that grant, I often review it so we can hopefully answer any other questions that there might be, so that the committee wants to look at that and review it favorably and award a grant.
I guess in a way, the only limit on grants is the limit that the organization puts on it themselves. as to what they can apply for.
Absolutely. We award grants for many different purposes. A lot of organizations may think, well, we've got to have a brand new exciting project. That's not necessarily the case. Certainly we grant for projects. We don't grant for very many events, but we also grant just general operational support, because sometimes the most important thing that an organization may need is just help paying the bills.
Well, Nona, thank you very much for coming in.
My pleasure. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you for what the Dubois County Community Foundation does.
Thank you. It is our pleasure.
And obviously, thanks to the donors who make it happen. This has been WJTS Inform. Our guest has been Nona Baker, the Associate Director of the Dubois County Community Foundation. Check them out online or make sure that you make contact with them. Thank you for watching WJTS. We are local people watching local people.